So I want to welcome all the media and the St. Clair staff, and certainly any students that are attending today's press conference for joining us. My name is Ted Beal, and I serve as athletic coordinator here at the college. But this morning I'll help facilitate our speakers and what we hope will be the beginnings of a long and mutually beneficial relationship between St. Clair College and the AKO football program. As always, up all night baking some cookies, so please enjoy the refreshments over here. I want to acknowledge a few people. I want to appreciate the folks at WeTV for helping tape today. It'll be posted on their website, we-tv.ca, and as well as YouTube later today. Certainly a person that was instrumental in bringing this partnership together, Mr. Ron Seegan, Vice President, Global Education Training Services. Give us a nice wave there, Ron. Thanks. And my boss, certainly Christina Gatto, Director of Advancement Athletics. I'll move along. Both our speakers this morning made a tremendous impact on the Windsor-Essex community. They've helped shape young people and made quite an impression on their lives in their own way. Certainly made an impact both professionally and personally on myself, and we hope today will help broaden their ability to help students and athletes alike in this community. Our first speaker, who you know, is the longest serving president in St. Clair College history. He'll help explain some of the details of the partnership, and then he'll pass it off to the president of the AKO football program, Mr. Mike Morency. It certainly gives me great pleasure to be the steward of today and introduce him, former football coach of mine. Certainly, I believe, one of the finest leaders of young men in this community. Very proud to see that he made the move in terms of ownership at AKO, and it will serve to further solidify their place in the community. Very fortunate to catch a few passes for Coach at Windsor Stadium. Maybe a few more blocks than passes, but certainly learned a lot of lessons of life through him, and wish him all the best in what he's embarked on with the AKO football program. So at this point, I'd like to please help me welcome Mr. John Strasser to the podium.
Thank you, Ted, and good morning, everyone. When you're in this type of a position and you do the occasional press conference, there are all kinds of reasons that are put forward that begin a conference. I have never heard until today somebody want to start a press conference so that the fruit on the table wouldn't get too warm. That was Ted Beal 2 minutes ago. Interesting for a lot of reasons. I turned and I saw that podium of Bill Clinton when he came here to open an IRCA conference, and I was thinking of Clinton, and I'm just learning to play the saxophone. I'm actually learning when the Saints go marching in, and thinking this is an interesting day for a lot of reasons. Anyway, we've got to keep this going because we don't want the fruit to get too warm on the table. Morning, everyone. We're here to announce a rather unique partnership that I really believe reflects the need of a changing world for pathways in post-secondary education. Beginning today, we are going to work with the Windsor AKO Fratmen to bring more young adults into the educational system, while at the same time allowing them an opportunity to play competitive football at the highest level. Most of you know the history of AKO, but here are two things that I think give you a really good perspective on the proud history of the AKO Fratmen. Number one, the team dates back to 1929, which makes it the longest running community organization providing a junior football program in Canada without interruption. That's quite a history. And number two, they've won 3 national titles in 1952, in 1954, and again in 1999. So a very rich history that's associated with this region. So from our perspective, it's important that we continually adjust to meet the demands of a changing educational system. So we're prepared to do that. We are going to extend our support for sports, if you want, to include AKO players. Mike Morency will ensure that we have success on the field, and we will ensure that the students have academic success at the college. All of this brings me to Mike Morency. We had a lot about him in the paper when he was at that other institution down the road. Also educates students some of the time. I had to do that. I don't know Mike Morency well, but I can tell you that he wears his love of football on his sleeve. AKO is a fine organization with a rich history. It's got a lot of good people, both now and in the past, that have been associated with it, that have got it to this point. And I'm truly pleased that we as a college are helping AKO to take the next step forward. So we're excited about a chance to make a difference in the lives of young football players who will come to Windsor to become part of a fine football organization and to get an education at an institution that believes in excellence in all that we do. So I'm going to ask Mike to come to the podium, share his views on the partnership and the future of AKO, and of course we're both prepared to answer any questions when he is finished. Anybody that knows Mike, that could be an hour from now.
Thank you.
You're on.
Thanks very much, John. It's indeed an honor to be here today to announce this partnership with St. Clair College and the Windsor AKO Fratmen football team. It's been something we've worked a long time on. The genesis of this all started in a backroom conversation with Ted Beal a long time ago about, do you think maybe we could do this? And I think how this deal came about is a little bit of what this partnership can become in the future. As Ted mentioned, he played football for me at AKO, and he kind of got the ball rolling with this, and he said, well, I'm going to have to bring up the letter to Ron Segan. Ron is the vice president of global education here at the college, and Ron happened to play baseball for me. So as this thing moved up the ladder, I had coached Ted in football, I had coached Ron in baseball, and under no circumstances at all was I John Strasser's hockey coach out in Cape Breton, so I don't want anybody to think that that's what happened after that. But I've been extremely impressed with how the people at St. Clair have handled this thing. And as some of you may know, I have had my share of disagreements with administrative types over the years. And I think Dr. Strasser is just one of the finest gentlemen and finest visionaries I have seen in a long time. What he has done at this college is monumental. Every couple of months you come to the campus and things change. Situations change, buildings change, facilities change, the philosophy changes. And I really think Dr. Strasser is a great person to be in this setting right now, and we're really happy that he thinks this partnership can work for us. And it is a partnership. When we started this whole thing and we took control of the team, we were really big on saying to people, well, come and join our partnership as we move this thing along. It's no, this circumstance is the way it is. We wanted to announce this first. We got a lot of things we have to announce, a lot of initiatives out there. But this was very important for us to announce right off the bat because of the importance of it. We are pleased, as could be, to be associated with St. Clair College. Our kids are real excited, our players and coaching staff and all the members, board of directors, and all of our business people are excited as can be about this relationship. And I think it's going to have a real great spin for both the college and AKO both. We're really happy to put our banner under the St. Clair banner, and we will not disappoint John and Ron and the people here at St. Clair College. You're going to get kids that are going to be committed to working in the classroom, and that's very, very important to us. Rick Cranker is going to be our liaison with St. Clair College, and a lot of you people here know Rick. He's a no-nonsense guy, and he's the perfect guy to handle this academic liaison with us in the college. And Rick won't stand for anybody not going to class and not taking care of business. So this isn't one of those, oh, it's a nice deal, but I'm sure these guys aren't going to go to school. No, they'll be here, and they'll graduate, and they'll be some great students, or we'll kick them in the rear end. I can promise you that. It's very, very important to us. So again, thank you for this. John, thank you very much for your giving us this opportunity. We're going to make sure we come, do a great job of it. Ron, thank you very much for your help with this. It was great working with you on this thing. Ted, same thing. And the people here at St. Clair. So we're pretty excited about this, and we're going to hit the ground running. Today is kind of day one, ground zero, when we're going to get this thing rocking. And We've got a lot of our people here, people on our board of directors and stuff that are ready to get to work and ready to make some announcements and ready to make some noise about this. And the last thing I want to mention is this: we're very aware of the fact that coming into the St. Clair fold, we have some big shoes to fill. I mean, I look at what Dave Cooper's done with the baseball program, what Doug Weissman's done with the women's fast pitch team, and Andy Kiss was done with women's basketball, and Matt Devon and with the men's basketball program, and Andy Hong with cross country. Everybody's doing well. Well, there's a lot of pressure on us now. We don't want to come into this table of programs that are in great shape. We want to be at that level. We want to take care of our business, so St. Clair is proud of their association with us. So to the entire St. Clair family, thank you so much for including us in your plans. This partnership is very innovative, very creative, and it's going to go a long ways toward making us a preeminent football program in the country. So thank you very much for your time today, and I'm going to call Ted back up to the podium, I think, to close things off.
Well, obviously a historic announcement made here at St. Clair College. The president, Dr. John Strasser. A great day, I think, Dr. Strasser, and what a great initiative. This, again, is something very creative, and I think something that's very much needed for not only for AKO football, but even perhaps St. Clair College.
Well, I think it is too. You learn more than simply what's in the pages of a book or on a screen in a classroom. Sports are important from time management, from discipline, from working as a team together, all of which are important in real life. We don't have a football program at the colleges level. This is an ideal situation for us, and if we can provide a pathway for students to come here to get an education and help a community-based organization, that's what we're all about.
This is a move to try to lessen that gap with some of the powerhouse junior football teams in the country, and I think that's what this exactly is. We made a real firm commitment after we got waxed last year by Vancouver that we had to start doing business on a different level with a different philosophy, the whole 9 yards, and I think this is part of that. This is a big part of it. We have chosen to maybe announce this first because of the importance of it. There's a lot of big announcements coming, real soon down the pipe with that same concern to try to lessen that gap. But this is a big one for us, and what they're doing down here at St. Clair is phenomenal, and we're happy to jump on board at this time and try to, live through some of the stuff they're doing. The help they can give us, the assistance they can give us is off the chart, off the charts. And we're looking forward to availing ourselves of that and moving our program where we want it to go.
People will start to look if the program is a good program, and I have no doubt at all that will be the case. They can look and they can say, okay, we can come, we can get an education at St. Clair College, we can play football at the highest level. That's a win-win for everybody because it allows us the exposure to the rest of the country that we wouldn't otherwise normally have.
This is our shot at getting where we want to go. And when we started to talk about this, we had to say we got to do something different, something that that gets us in the fabric of being able to recruit kids and this and that. And like I said, this all started with just a happenstance conversation with Ted Beal down at the Trophy Boys one day. We were just sitting there, and I said, "What do you think?" I said, "You think Dr. Strasser might?" And he says, "I don't know. It's a pretty neat concept. I said, let me bring it, shoot it up the ladder and see what happens." He brought it to Ron Segan. Ron Segan said, "This has got a chance," and he brought it up. And John, we met for lunch, and John said, "I like this idea a lot." He's always looking to enhance the profile of St. Clair. We're looking to enhance our profile. It's a perfect marriage.
When putting this deal together, were there any concerns or hurdles that maybe you thought were going to be hard to overcome, and how did you do that?
No, I don't think so. We sat down with Mike, and when I say we, Ron Segan and I, who kind of brought us together, and basically he very much cares for football and excellence on a football playing field. We care about the students in terms of the academics, so there's a natural fit there. I believe we run a pretty good ship here, if you want. We've had balanced budgets for 14 years. We try to do things creatively that will get students here. So when we took a look at how this would all work, it's a win-win for both of us. So I don't see any downsides at all.
Another gentleman that was instrumental in putting this together, the Vice President, Ron Segan, and it must be a very, gratifying day for you here, Ron.
Yeah, we're excited about it, Dom. I mean, we get asked all the time, do you have a football team, or can I come there to play football? And now we can say we have a football collaboration. And, they're two different streams. So if a kid wants to come here and be a paramedic, and you can only be a paramedic in the college system, Now they can play football, and it opens some doors for some kids.
I'm sure you're still going to be willing to take that kid that needs something, to help him along. But now comes the educational part, and I think that could help as well. But how tough will that be?
It's going to be difficult. That's why we've taken a guy like Rick Cranker, who we know will just be all over this situation. We'll monitor what's going on. We'll work with the people down here at St. Clair. And, Cranks will be, when he's committed to something, he's committed to something. And this is right up his alley. He has a great relationship with Ronnie Segan, and I think that'll play out real well. But, I mean, there's some pitfalls here if we're not careful. And, we don't want to bring 45 St. Clair students here and 30 of the kids don't do well. I mean, they're going to have to go to class. They're going to have to matriculate at the proper level. They're going to have a certain grade point average to maintain their scholarships and their bursaries. So there's a lot to this, but we don't want to we don't want this to be a one-shot deal. We want to be so successful at this. We want Ron and John to look at our academic standing and say, wow, we got some great students. These kids have worked hard. They're here all the time. They're taking care of business. They're passing their courses. They're doing well. When we can do that, then the partnership works perfectly. So that's our real thing right now, is to tell our kids, hey, we got a great opportunity. Let's not screw this up. It's a tremendous opportunity. We would like to run for a long time. So we got to take care of our end of the business, though, to do that.
Obviously, this will help, I would imagine, you and Coach Lachance in the recruiting aspect. When you can tell a kid, look, I've got a scholarship waiting for you at St. Clair College.
I talked to a kid last night, a real good ex-CIS football player from the University of Saskatchewan. It's not there anymore and still has a couple years of eligibility left. When I told him via email last night at about 2 in the morning that we had a press conference today and we were going to announce this thing, and I had the possibility of getting him in here on an athletic and an academic bursary, he was excited as could be. And it'll cement that deal. When I call him back today and say, the press conference is in, we signed the paperwork, let's go, he'll come to Windsor. This kid is a great player. We would have never had a chance at a kid like that without this opportunity. But our ability to bring him down here to compete with a good football program, go to a good academic situation, and accomplish a couple different things in his life, that's the reason we're getting this kid. So, I mean, it's worked already. And it has in a number of, that's just one instance, but there's been a number of kids. There's a lot of kids I've been getting calls from kids at CIS schools that aren't doing well academically that say, maybe I want to get into something just a little bit different. And St. Clair's got so many programs, such a varied academic program, that I think a lot of kids want to take a shot at that. So this is going to work well.
With limited resources, partnerships open doors, and AKO is an institution in this organization. They're not going anywhere, especially with Mertz running it now, and we're not going anywhere. So this partnership should live on for years. And there's a lot of good quarterbacks that can play other sports and a lot of good receivers that can play basketball. So there's certainly an opportunity for dual athletes, number one. Number two, our facilities in the winter time for AKO to work out in are another key to the partnership. And it helps us recruit students from across the province who otherwise won't consider college because there's no football program. So it opens those doors.
Will there be some cross-marketing now that goes on between St. Clair College Athletics and AKO football games, perhaps?
All part of, and all part of the agreement as we move forward. Sponsorship in terms of scoreboards, helmets, marketing material that's actually written on brochure, all of that, sure, absolutely. Because if it's going to be a true partnership, we have to support what they do, they have to support what we do, and it'll all work out, yeah.
So do we anticipate a new look uniform, a new look helmet, or anything like that?
Oh, there might be some stuff in the offing. You got to change the state image every once in a while. Yeah, we're doing some stuff. I don't know. I'm the worst guy to ask. I'd rather just have plain stuff. I got guys chirping in my ear about numbers that have two different colors in them and all this. I said, whatever, go ahead. Have some fun, be creative, and we'll see how it goes. So maybe we'll put a stripe on our helmet. We'll do something really big.